Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back for another Total War video with the Terminator. Today I'm going to be playing Divide Et Impera, and actually I'm going to be running through the first 10 turns of the mod as Rome. Now I know a lot of this has been done before, but 1.2.8 is out, and this is part of my series of faction guides, and I thought where better to start than Rome. We have a lot of new players playing the mod, and a lot of people have requested these faction guides as well, so I thought Rome would be a good place to start. So, as Rome, I'm going to be playing as the Akites. I really like their kind of increased tax rate and moderate diplomatic bonus with Helletic factions. They're a really easy family to start with. If you're just starting out with DEI, I'd recommend with Akites. Other families, obviously, are very good, but the Akites are my more comfortable kind of starting family. It's also kind of important diplomatically to, start a campaign with as many trade agreements and non-aggression pacts as possible, which is how kind of the Akites cater to, essentially. Other families don't have that bonus, which means it's a bit more difficult to start off with those pacts. So that's why I go with the Akites to start with. It's DEI, so play on normal, guys. Don't play on hard or very hard unless you want the extra kind of AI bonuses and challenge. And especially if you're starting off in DEI for the first time, I'd recommend normal. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, guys, and you want to see more faction guides, definitely like and comment and subscribe to the channel to see more. I really hope you enjoy this video, and let's get started. All right, so as Rome, your initial challenge is difficult. You have the Etruscans to your north here in Arretium, and you have Pyrrhus to your east. You have a two-front war here, essentially, which is not ideal, especially in DEI. You also have Syracuse and Carthage here to the south, which you don't really need to worry about in your first 10 turns. Syracuse will likely declare war against you, but unless you enter Sicily, it won't really start the First Punic War, so don't worry about it. Focus on the Etruscans and focus on Pyrrhus to begin with. That's what we're going to be doing here. So before we get started, let's have a look at the political system here. So the best way to avoid a civil war long term is to send these guys on a diplomatic mission. So I'm going to send this guy to Dalmate, for example. He should hopefully come back with a bit of money or an increased bonus to public order. Or he might get killed, which is fine. It's the extreme option when it comes to failing your diplomatic mission. And it's okay, because if he dies... remember, guys, if he dies and he has lots of gravitas and he's got a lot of influence in the Senate, that means that not only will that party be more loyal to you, you'll have a bit more power in the Senate, which is good for you. So that's what I would recommend here. Also, remember to recruit generals from your family and admirals as well. They should in your battles and your victories, they should be able to get more gravitas and influence and help your family in the long term as well. So that's politically what we're going to be doing. Technology-wise, don't worry about the military side of things. You are pretty well equipped as Rome at the start of your campaign to fight most factions in the area. So I'd recommend going the civil route to get, more wealth, better buildings, things like that to start off with. And then diplomatically. Now, diplomatically, this is probably the more important thing you need to be doing at the start of your campaign. You need to get as many trade agreements, and if you like, non-aggression pacts as possible. So, it's a little back and forth here. But you want to get all these trade agreements with, like, the Daorsi, the Ligurians, Massilia especially, who will give you lots of money in return for the trade agreement as well. I can sense that here we go. Let's do Liguria next. Speak plainly and without idle purpose. And Massilia, who we are civilized folk, will give us you may speak as you wish, and we will give you an honest... There we go. These words, you bring joy to my heart. Veneti won't give you a trade agreement. Syracuse might, depending on how they feel. But remember that in the next few turns, they will probably betray you. So keep that in mind. So yeah, that's what we're doing diplomatically. And remember, guys, in the long term, what you're doing there is not only just supplementing your income, but also getting a bit more in your coffers as well. with those payments, which is really good for any faction really at the start. And kind of the main reason why we're focusing on trade agreements here is because public order is one of the most important things in DEI. The lower public order, the more penalties you have to various things. So what you want to be doing is decreasing this tax level at the start. Your income isn't that much lower because you have those trade agreements, and your public order is now mostly in the positive. I'm going to be moving this army into Rome now to get more positive public order there as well, and deploying this governor. So overall, everywhere should be in the positive from a public order perspective. So that's everything kind of house cleaning wise to start off with in turn 1. This is turn 1. What we want to be doing next is building buildings. Now, with any total war, the most important thing is income and food, really, when it comes to buildings at the start. So I'm going to buildings here that do that, essentially. I'm going to get that food in Beneventum. And here we're going to build a fishing port and some farms here in Asculum. We're going to increase this as well, which will give us some more food. And I'm going to unlock this and get the fishing boats, which will help our trade. Finally, from a building perspective, I'm going to upgrade the forum to the supply pit, which should, in the long term, basically give you that much more kind of supply storage, supply line, a bit more kind of population growth, and things like that as well. Once we have the province united as well, we'll get the Bread and Games Edict, which should give us some more growth and public order as well. So overall, those are the kind of buildings that you want to be building at the start as Rome. Now, when it comes to your armies, the main thing you want to be kind of keeping in mind is with update 1.2.8, having them in your settlement now actually helps public order rather than derailing it. So we're going to be keeping our army here in Crescentia for now, and we're going to be recruiting some cheap units. Don't go for those more expensive units. Try and go for the cheaper units to start with that can supplement your more elite soldiers here. That's what we're going to be doing with with Legio 2 in Crescentia. Legio 1 is going to move up to Rome. Bam. That way it's going to be supporting the public order in Rome, and we're going to be recruiting some units here as well. So we'll get some Rorari, and we're going to get some Hastati. Can we get one more? No. So with that, we're going to have a nice melee kind of front line here. And the next turn, we'll get those levies and slingers as well, which will support the back line. In terms of agents, I'm going to move Postrema here over to Pyrrhus. I want to keep an eye on what he gets up to in Taris. Usually he moves over a couple of units over to challenge you. And we're going to deploy her as well to steal some food, because why not? And we've got our governor here as well, Gnaeus Vespanius. I'm going to deploy him in administration. In 1.2.8, dignitaries had their offensive abilities removed. So he's going to be staying in Rome, lucky you, to administrate, get us a bit more tax income. With the more experience that he gets, he's going to help long-term empire maintenance as well. And if you don't know what that is, basically over time, your where is it? Is it here? No, maybe not. Over time, basically, your empire maintenance increases, which is how much money you need to spend to, where is it? Oh, well, how much money you need to spend to maintain your empire in the long term. The bigger your empire, the more costly it is to maintain. So having dignitaries that have enough experience that can support that, even generals with some of your skills can help decrease the cost of maintaining your empire. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in turn 1. This is my recommendation, basically, to focus on, getting those trade agreements, supplementing your armies with some decent units, and getting ready to take Arretium. That's going to be the first goal here. The final thing I want to do before moving on to turn 2 is recruit a fleet. Now, this fleet is going to have one thing to do and one thing only. I'm going to recruit a few units here with this fleet as well, because what this fleet is going to do is move south towards the Greek peninsula here to meet Athens and Sparta, Macedon, Knossos, and the Anatolian factions here as well, Pergamum. And by meeting them, we're going to get some trade agreements in the long term when you're really focusing on public order here with to get them in the positive and get you more bonuses. To deal with that lower tax rate that you have right now, you need to have more trade agreements. So this fleet essentially is going to be discovering more factions. Remember, Rome won total war and basically sending out agents to meet factions and establishing trade routes. That's what this fleet is going to be for. A lot of people neglect that, but you can do that in the more modern games as well. So that's what this guy is going to be doing. And that is the end of our first turn here. So we're going to be moving on to turn 2. All right, so our diplomat has betrayed us, which is not the ideal outcome of that action. We were hoping for something a bit more positive, but no worries at all. Ideally, he'd be dead. Let's be real. Or he'd come back with a more positive outcome, which is fine. But yeah, so this is turn 2, and to be honest, in turn 2, there's not a whole lot going on. We still have positive public order in Crescentia. If I move this army out, it's just neutral, which is fine. I'm going to move this army to the border here and get recruiting again. So I'm going to get a couple levy units and some slingers here to get ready for our fight with Pyrrhus. And we have Legio 1, who will be moving up towards Arretium. So go up to the border and keep recruiting. So we've got some levies here and a couple slingers as well. You know what? Let's get a third slinger just to be sure. But yeah, so that's what that army is going to be doing there. And we have our fleets. The first, Colossus, going to be moving down towards the border, the kind of sea border here as well. And get ready to move past them, because you can't really do that in this first movement. In the next turn, we'll hopefully be able to get past, maybe get down here and maybe even meet Macedon or one of these factions. But essentially moving them down towards Anatolia. So yeah, aside from that, we still have our buildings being built. You could develop Crescentia if you want. And if you did, I would probably go for... I go for consecrated. Well, yeah, I go for consecrated ground. Just make sure that public order is nice and buffed. And that's it, essentially. In turn 2, there's not a whole lot going on. You could, of course, as I've recommended, keep drumming the beat of whether people want non-aggression pacts. And if you have the money, go for it. Absolutely. There's no reason why you couldn't. Massalia. See, Massalia is at high at the moment, so we could even ask for a little bit of money from them. Carthage. Oh yeah, you have all your pacts with them already. Syracuse, I'm guessing not. And again, we're waiting for them to declare war on us, likely very soon. But that's essentially turn 2. You're just pretty much preparing for the coming battles, which will happen in the next 2 turns at least. So let's move on. Let's move on to turn 3 here. All right, it's turn 3, which is the more interesting one. So we've got our villas are built, which means we've got a nice supplement to our food income here. We still have these supply pits being built. They have a few more turns to go. So don't worry about that for now. Once that's built, we should be able to go for more long-term wars here. But our main focus is going to be Arretium. So Legio 1 is poised to strike. And move him up and go after the shields of Minerva here. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to auto-resolve this, but I would recommend you manually play it. I mean, there are only a few decent troops. The garrison army is something you can easily take out with your Hastati alone. So just definitely manually play it, guys. But for the purpose of the video, just to keep this short, I'm going to auto-resolve this here. And go for the protective stance. That means we don't have as many casualties as we might do normally. We're going to enslave the captives here, which should give us a bit more income. And then we're going to attack Arretium. and take the city and unite the province. Our first united province here, which is really good. Let's occupy it. I don't want to give us too much public order penalties in the province. So yeah, we have Arretium. We have a united province. We're going to go with bread and games here to give us that public order and food growth. And I'm going to get rid of the Field of Mars here since Rome already comes with the kind of units unlocked that we want to be recruiting. And we're going to keep this army here, Legio 1, in Arretium for now, and recruit some units. So we've got a decent number of ranged units here. We don't need to do that much there. But I quite like the look of the Legionary Capite Sensi here. So why not? In terms of what units you want to recruit, guys, most of the time you can just wing it. But it's important always at the early stages to just go with the more cheaper units. I've gone for a couple expensive ones here because I'm a little bit cheeky. But you can do what you like, really. And then we have the fleet here. So that's the next thing I want to do. We have Classis 1 who are ready to kind of move past Epirus here. So I'm going to move him down here just to get past Pyrrhus. There he goes. And now that he's here, he's going to move down towards this direction so we can meet some of these factions, get some more trade agreements and supplement that income. I'm surprised, actually. What I was going to say is I'm surprised that Syracuse hasn't declared war against us yet. That's something that usually happens with me. And if it happens with you guys, just remember, don't worry about it, really. Focus on Pyrrhus from here on out, as the Etruscans are pretty much destroyed. That one army will likely come back down towards you, towards Arretium. And we have Legio 2 here, ready to strike, essentially. So I'm going to move him into Pyrrhus's lands. And I mean, you could recruit some mercenaries if you like. You know what? I'm going to recruit one. Why not? I think Pyrrhus will be inclined to attack sooner rather than later. You know what? I'm going to recruit the horses as well. All right, so we're all ready. We've got the Etruscans taken out. Oh, Carthage has moved a little spy in here. But we're ready to take on Pyrrhus. That's kind of the main focus of these first 10 turns. Legio 1 is recruiting here. He'll defeat that army. Once he's done with the recruitment and that army's defeated, we're going to go into forced march and move down to Beneventum and support Legio 2 and take on Pyrrhus. So that was turn 3. Yeah, that's right. That was turn 3, and it was a good one. We're going to go on to turn 4 now. Wait, actually, do I need to do? Yes. Okay, yeah, so before we move on to turn 2, just need to allocate these skills. So I usually go with formidable fighters. And in terms of your skills here, go with that first. Go with the Empire Maintenance for the general. Because when he gets a bit more experience, you can get the War Cry, which is another good one. But that's what I'd recommend. Just starting off with, just to make sure you have that invested in Empire Maintenance. So yeah, that was turn 3. Let's move on to turn 4, guys. All right, turn 4, and Syracuse has broken our trade agreement with them. It looks like they've declared war on us as well. We've got our agents who've got enough experience, so let's just upgrade them as well. I'm going to go for this one and this one just to, yeah, get invested in those abilities quickly. And I'm going to, so the Ligurians here have defeated the Etruscan army, the remnants of the Etruscans. So we're going to go into, wait, can I go into forced march? Let's move the army out here. Yeah, I can. No, wait, of course, there's no forced march in DI. What am I talking about? No worries. We're going to move this army, start moving him down towards Beneventum. He'll still be able to replenish these units while he's doing that, so no worries there. I am going to leave Legio 2 here because I am pretty certain that Pyrrhus is going to attack me. So that's what we're going to be waiting on for that to happen. In the meantime, though, let's have a look at our buildings. We've got the villas built. A lot in Rome is still being built as well. We've got this open slot here in Arretium, so don't forget about that. We're going to get the vintner here, the wine producer, which would be a really good trade product here to send out to other factions. So that will be good to have as well. Our governor has increased in skills as well. So in turn 4 here, we're going to just invest in those empire maintenance skills. Well, if you can unlock them. To begin with, though, I'd probably go for the upkeep and recruitment options here, because Rome is going to be your main recruitment region here. And we have that army here, and we've got some recruitment probably going to happen in the next like turns as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to be investing in there. So that is turn 4, just ready to strike at Pyrrhus. Let's move on to turn 5. All right, guys, turn 5. Legio 1 is ready to move down towards Beneventum. So let's move him down. He's still in a position to recruit as well. So what shall we recruit here? Let's get a couple more Rari just to supplement that melee side of things. It looks like Pyrrhus is being a bit more defensive rather than offensive at the moment, which is interesting. Usually he does go a bit more offensive against me. So we're going to leave this army here still. I don't want to, because if I move him out, I think what will likely happen is they might come up towards Beneventum, which is not what we want at all. You can't, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't move him back and recruit a bit more troops in this army as well. But I mean, you've got a decent like number of troops, and they're of good quality as well. Good enough that you can like basically challenge Pyrrhus if he comes against you. So I wouldn't worry about that, really. For Classis 1 here, we're going to move over towards the Greek Peninsula and meet some of these factions. So let's move him around here and meet Sparta. We'll move him down to meet Knossos and then back up to meet Athens as well. And then over to the Anatolian side of things. So we've met Sparta. Let's see if we can get a deal with them. They're pretty happy with us.
Greetings, honored guest.
They're down with a non-aggression pact as well. Oh, all right. Well, once we have that ability to get that trade agreement with them, that's kind of the purpose of this fleet. So we'll be able to do that really quickly. So that is turn 5. Not a whole lot going on here as well. The real action will be against Taurus very soon. So let's move on to turn 6, guys. All right, turn 6, and we've completed our research on the civil side of things. So what else can we do here? You've got a few options, but my recommendation would be to invest in the philosophy side of things. So you can recruit a dignitary and get more invested in that long-term empire maintenance, kind of maintenance, because that will derail your efforts later on in the game. The bigger your empire gets, the more likely it will cost a lot more to maintain. And agents like dignitaries and generals with that skill as well will help you maintain that. So that's what you want to be doing. We're going to move Legio 1 now towards Taurus. And we're going to move Legio 2 just to go within range of Legio 1 so they can support each other. And then we're going to attack Taurus, essentially. Looks like Pyrrhus is going to start moving his armies across, which is fine. They're going to challenge our armies, and it will be in vain because they will die. And then we'll be able to take Taurus, and we'll be able to move on to Apollonia. So that is turn 6. I mean, again, once you've taken out the Etruscans, it's pretty straightforward. Unless Pyrrhus comes over and starts attacking you very aggressively, which can happen. You know, the AI is unpredictable sometimes. I've had a game where Pyrrhus came around and took Cassentia right away while I moved Legio 2 up towards Beneventum. So it can happen, guys, but this is a more easier kind of how it's played out for me, I guess. And we're going to take Taurus and take him out pretty quickly and then shift our focus towards either Syracuse here or towards the north, those Gallic factions, those Celtic factions here. So yeah, that's going to be turn 6. Let's see what happens in... Oh, actually, hold on. We've got our fleet ready to move on as well. Let's move and discover the Knossos faction here and move up north as well. Hopefully we can get Athens within our range. Yes, and there is Athens. All right, so Athens is ready for a trade agreement. Let's get that payment out of them as well. Oh yeah, they love it. They love the Romans. There we go. And Knossos as well. Brilliant. Hellenic factions ready to just throw money at my face. Oh, look at that. I love it. Awesome. So again, look at that. We've got that increased coffer. We've got a bit more income. And as that fleet travels around, it will be able to meet new factions, which you can get that trade agreement with. That's super important, guys, because in the long term, you're building up this public order, you know, slowly but surely. And once it's really in the positive is when you start seeing that those increased bonuses for everything else. So I've got this shrine here that I can upgrade. In terms of Rome and what you want to really be focusing on from a shrine perspective, I'd go for the research, to be honest. Research is, I mean, the faster you can grow the research, the better. You're still going to get that Latin cultural influence and conversion and the growth in population as well. But that research is going to be, if you have a few of those now that are upgraded, is going to go is going to be really helpful in the long term for you. In terms of what buildings to build, you've at this point you can have a few upgrades here as well. You've got enough money for it. So I would upgrade this guy for more fish. I'd get a bit more food, and in food I would probably go for the farm. More food the better. And you've got the slot in Ariminum as well. You have enough money to do it and upgrade it, and you have a few options again. But again, with every province that has a resource you can exploit it. Why not? It will give you that added trade product to give you a bit more income from your trade agreement. So it's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. So yeah, that's how it's looking for turn 6, I think. And now we can move on to turn 7. All right, guys, so it's turn 7, and we are very close to taking on Pyrrhus and defeating him in battle. So I'm going to move Legio 2 in to attack Taurus head on. Let's get some siege equipment going. I'm going to go for the ram and a couple of ladders here. Continue the siege. And let's move Legio 1 in range as well. Legio 1 can be in the raiding stance. Now, if you want it, you can attack the city outright and win. It's pretty simple. You know, I would again go for the manual attack if I were you, because again, they don't have that many elite units. They have the elephant here, which is dangerous, but you have slingers. That's what those slingers and the levies are for. In both armies, they can take down the elephants pretty quickly if it starts going after you. And again, you have the garrison army, which, I mean, they have some Greek militia and the hoplite unit here, which can be dangerous if you let them kind of set up that front line and you're not like flanking them. But again, in my opinion, you have a pretty good chance of winning manually and defeating most of them with very minimal casualties. But for the purpose of this video, again, I'm going to auto-resolve this as the kind of remaining force is pretty high. And we're going to go for a protective stance as well, so we're not having that many casualties. And we're going to occupy the city because, again, we don't want that like massive public order penalty to the province here. So with that, we have Taurus. It's turn 7, guys, and we've taken Taurus. We've defeated the Etruscans. We've got 2 decent armies here ready to go across the pond, in a manner of speaking, and take Apollonia pretty quickly. So we've got Taurus. Let's focus on this first. We're going to convert the city to a pacified capital. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to turn this into a forum again, just as we spoke. We want to have that availability of supply wherever we are attacking. That's going to be super important for DEI. And we can move this guy out of the raid stance as well. And, you know, we'll put him in the patrol region. Patrol is really good to be able to support that public order kind of boon that you want in a province. So remember, you have that ability as well. So that's turn 7. We've taken Taris. We've got the Etruscans taken out. We've met a few more factions in the east as well. And I'm going to move this fleet here. You know what? Let's move them up to Macedon. We've met Koinon, Aetolian as well. Have I? Oh, okay. I've screwed this up. No worries. But we're going to move towards the Anatolian Peninsula there as well and get some more trade agreements on that side of the world. And as you can see here, guys, we've got that boon in income now. Now that we've taken Taris, we've united the province as well. We'll be able to let's get that added income. We've got the general to upgrade as well here before we move on. So let's do that. Again, let's invest in empire maintenance because it's important for that long-term goal. But remember, the war cry is important. So that is going to be the next focus for generals overall. We're gonna move the agent across towards Pyrrhus as well. Get him over there and steal some food. And then we're gonna focus our attention elsewhere. But that is turn 7 in a nutshell, guys. In 7 turns, we've essentially united the Italian peninsula and pretty much defeated the most immediate threats as Rome. So let's see what happens in turn 8. All right, guys, so it's turn 8 and we have a nice bit of income going on here. That's a seasonal effect because it's autumn. And the last thing really we have to do to secure our borders really is to defeat Epirus here. They're in Apollonia. And I mean, you have a few options. You can, at this point, you know, you've secured Italy and you can make peace with them. You know, if you wanted, you can go to Epirus here and you can make peace. They usually will. You know, there's a moderate likelihood of success here. So that's a way you can deal with this. You've already got Italy secured. You can make peace and maybe focus on the factions to the north here, the Veneti and Liguria, or you could even go down towards Syracuse and start the Punic War if you wanted. Or you could go into Greece. And that's what I'm going to do here. If you wanted to go the kind of middle ground, because the northern side is a bit easier to deal with, but if you want to go the middle ground and go somewhere a bit more difficult, then you can, of course, invade Greece. And that's kind of more historically accurate anyway. So what I would do is start moving your armies across, get Legio 2 in the water, and get Legio 1 in the water as well. Once they're on land, you'll be able to recruit some mercenaries and then attack the city. That's what we're going to try and do here. So that's the plan. Essentially, turn 8 is kind of that middle turn of you deciding what you want to do next. Now that you've secured, you've secured Italy. So I've just also noticed that diplomatically, you've actually already met Antigonus. So we're going to get that trade agreement with them. Might have to offer a little bit of money, which is fine. See how much money he wants.
And do not need your goods to add to their material wealth.
All right, there we go.
I must accept.
And oh, actually, we've met Lydia as well.
If I can give you a fair answer, you will have it.
So let's see what we can get out of them.
Your words bring
Nice little shift of power there. And then let's try and meet Pergamum. I don't remember where they were exactly. There we are. All right, so we've got Pergamum as well. Do they have a port? No, they don't. But Tenny does. So let's get that nice trade agreement from them as well. Oh, they're going to pay us a lot of money. Nice. Okay, maybe not.
But our hearts are full of courage.
All right, that has unlocked Bithynia. So let's get that trade agreement with them.
Speak. We surely have much to discuss and perhaps much to agree.
There you go. Look at these Anatolian factions all trading with you. It's beautiful. And you've got a nice little boon in your coffer as well, which you can spend where you want. And it's up to you. I mean, we're going through some public order issues here in Magna Graecia. So what you can do is send a character. So let's get our faction leader to be married. And let's get her to organize some games. The next few turns, that should help you with your public order. There you go. It's in the positive. And we've got other buildings being built here as well, which should help with public order. So once those are done, we should have an easier time here as well. We've just captured Terrace, so the penalties from that will be coming down. And your public order here in Rome is also increasing, which is what you want. So that's essentially what we're doing here. We're going to invade Apollonia now in turn 9. Let's see what happens. All right, turn 9, guys. Got to move Posthuma over to Apollonia. So let's just do that really quick and deploy her to steal some food. And we're going to move our armies up. So let's get... Can I get you on land? Come on, you can do this. You can get on land. Okay, let's get this guy to attack the port. Oh, there we go. Actually, there you go. He can attack the city right off, which is good. All right, so that means we can get this guy out onto land. Let's see if we can attack this army. Yep, they've retreated. And there you have it, guys. I mean, Apollonia is ripe for the taking. So we're going to go aggressive here and take the city. Obviously, they have that one army left over here, the Griffin's Grace. We're going to loot the city because it's in another province and I don't care. And with that, we have Imperium, which is nice to have as well. All right, so we have Apollonia. We're going to do those with the buildings, and I'm not going to attack the army. I'm going to wait for them to come to me. They have some decent hoplites there, and we don't really need to attack them outright. We can just go into a fortified stance here, in fact, which is what we'll do. All right. So that is turn 9. Guys, in less than 10 turns here, this is my recommendation, my guide to how you can start Rome in your first 10 turns. So we've managed to take out the Etruscans in the north, your most immediate threat, really. With our 2 armies, Legio 1 and 2, we took Taris, we moved across the pond to take Apollonia, and Pyrrhus is pretty much no more at this point. You've sent a fleet, Classis 1, to discover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8 factions here, which you've managed to get some trade agreements with. We're going to move this fleet down as well now towards Rhodes here, which you'll be able to get another one, and then over towards the southern side of Anatolia as well. So with Rhodes, there we go.
Be welcome here and speak as you wish.
We can get another trade agreement. And obviously, if you can get those non-aggression pacts as well. And beyond that, guys, it's up to you. I mean, you're invaded now in Greece. You can look to take on the Aetolians here. You can go even down south to take on Sparta if you want. Or you can go north towards these more Balkan states as well. Or you can completely shift your focus. You know, you've got some decent buildings being built at the moment. And with that kind of support, you can move Legio 1 and 2 back over to Italy and focus on Syracuse and Carthage, or move up north towards the more Celtic tribes up here, the Ligurians, the Insubres. Massilia is a decent ally to have here and will support you unless the AI is stupid and decides to declare war. I mean, who knows what might happen. But that is essentially your first 10 turns with Rome. And this is how I do it. Now, you can have your own playstyle. It's totally up to you. But this is, if you're just starting off with DEI, you know, this is how you can go about playing as Rome at the beginning of your campaign. And that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have learned something, and you can see how, you know, a lot of these can be applied with other factions as well. So you know what you've learned here, what you can use to succeed in your Rome campaign. Remember, a lot of this are all of these things really are really good recommendations for other factions as well. But for Rome specifically, this is how I would go about starting your campaign, taking out the Etruscans, taking out Epirus, and then leaving the field open within your first 10 turns to decide what you want to be doing next. And that's the end of the video here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've kind of winged it here in terms of, you know, no scripts and you know, going a bit kind of fun and out of the box here, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a like and drop your thoughts or any questions at all. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to help. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more faction guides like this. If you have any kind of recommendations as well in terms of what factions you want to see, drop them in the comment section below. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And this is the Terminator. I will see you next time.